Hello and welcome to Providence, Rhode Island. Today we are going to be riding with Amtrak from here down to New London, Connecticut while answering the age-old question, is business class worth it on the Northeast Regional? Nestled in between Providence's two major waterways, the Amtrak station is right at the heart of the city. Just beyond the station is the Rhode Island State Capitol. The Capitol is home to the fourth largest self-supported marble dome in the world. Standing in just the right place, the dome aligns perfectly with the station rotunda as if an extension of the station itself. To the west of the station is the station's park, built over the tracks below grade, but on the east side, the tracks are open to the air. Looking out over the fences can lead to some pretty amazing views of arriving trains, like this Northeast Regional down to New York. The station itself is very basic. There's a large central waiting area with a few benches and shops around the edges. Amtrak does not provide a lounge for passengers here as it is a smaller station. Even if there was one, we wouldn't have been able to access it anyways, as business class tickets cannot be used for lounge access in the Northeast. Before our train arrives here in Providence, let's take a quick look at our route for today. Heading out of Providence, we'll make our way southwest through the Rhode Island suburbs and past T.F. Green International Airport. We'll then wrap around the coast of Greenwich Bay, ripping past Wickford Junction at 125 miles an hour. After a station stop in Kingston, our train reaches the slower curved tracks along the coast of southern Rhode Island and Connecticut. We'll make our second and final intermediate station stop in Mystic, Connecticut before arriving in New London. We'll cover a total of 62 miles between the two cities with a travel time of 55 minutes. A short wait in the station building later, and the boarding announcement was made for Amtrak Northeast Regional number 175, prompting us to head down to track level. Shortly after, our train pulls into the station, headed by Siemens ACS 64 number 633. As with most Northeast Regionals, business class is located at the end of the train, and after making our way down the platform, we can climb aboard. We're seated today in seat 5A, a window seat towards the middle of the coach. One of the few advantages of traveling in business class is reserved seating. Seats can be chosen when purchasing tickets and can then be changed through the Amtrak website or mobile app. After getting seated, our train departs Providence, beginning our 55-minute ride down south. Business class seating on the Northeast Regional is virtually identical to coach seats, but with a bit of extra space in between. Instead of 6 to 8 inches of space, I now have around 12 between my knees and the seat back, with plenty of space beneath the next seat to stretch out. Because of this extra space, Amtrak is able to include footrests at each seat. Pressing down on the release lever to the side folds down the footrest. As with most footrests on trains, it's too high for my liking, but could be a welcome addition for shorter passengers. The seat back pocket is the same as those in coach class and includes the usual safety information card for our Amfleet 1 coach. The tray table folds down from the seat back and is large enough for a medium laptop or a small meal and can translate back and forth to the user's liking. Above each row are two lights controlled by the buttons in between. The two outlets for each row are located on the wall just below the window. Seat adjustments are made using the button on the side of the armrest, which reclines each seat back rather far. The adjustments give passengers another 20 to 25 degrees of recline, which is more than enough for such spacious seats. The seats overall are nice, but they're really not that different from the usual coach seats, and in all honesty, I don't think they're a big enough step up from coach to be called business class. Kingston is the first of two intermediate station stops between Providence and New London. Located on one of the few sections of track rated for 150 miles an hour, Kingston is a great place to watch Acellas fly past at top speed. Heading out of Kingston, our train picks up speed, reaching 90 miles per hour before being forced to slow for the coastal curves. Outside of the increased legroom, business class passengers really only get one extra onboard amenity: complimentary non-alcoholic beverages. To receive their free drink, passengers must head down to the cafe car. The selection of free drinks include coffee, tea, Coke products, water, sparkling water, and orange juice. I chose a can of Coke plus a bag of chips to snack on. Unfortunately, the snacks are not complimentary, so I had to pay the $2.50 for the chips. The slower speeds on the Northeast Corridor aren't all bad, as the rail line provides some incredible views of coastal Connecticut. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. There's a lot more incredible content on the way, so stick around if you want to see more. Mystic, Connecticut is our second and last intermediate stop on our way to New London. As tends to be the case with smaller stations along the corridor, our full train is nowhere close to fitting within the bounds of the platforms here, the locomotive and lead coaches wrapping around the curve and out of view. As we make our way down the Connecticut coast, let's take a quick look at some stats about our train. Taking us down to New London today is Amtrak Northeast Regional number 175, and is powered by Siemens ACS 64 number 633. Each ACS 64 is powered by Siemens 3-phase AC traction motors. These motors produce a continuous output of 6,700 horsepower, but locomotives can boost up to a total output of 8,600 horsepower or 6,400 kilowatts over shorter intervals. The 6,400 kilowatts is also where the 64 in the name ACS 64 originates. Although they can top out at 135 miles an hour, ACS 64s are only operated at a top speed of 125, and only on select sections of track along the corridor like the one seen here. Consists on the Northeast Regional can vary in length, with our train made up of 10 total cars. 8 of the 10 are coach cars, with 1 cafe car and our single business car at the rear of the train. Bathrooms on Amfleet 1 coaches are located at one end of each car, with 1 regular and 1 accessible. Stepping into the accessible bathroom, we can slide the door shut and press the lock into place. The bathroom isn't really in the best shape, with toilet paper and water across the floor, certainly not business class quality. The accessible bathroom does include significantly more floor space, which is a nice benefit over the regular. The sink works well with plenty of soap, paper towels, and toilet paper. The included 120-volt outlets are located beside the sink and appear to be in good working order. Overall, the bathroom is fairly basic, but definitely needed a quick refresh at the end of the line before heading back out for another run. Just outside of the bathroom is the water dispenser for each car, which was working well and had plenty of cups for passengers. One of the great parts about riding in the last car on Amtrak are the window views out onto the tracks behind. So Amtrak's business class, is it worth it? Absolutely not. At least not on the Northeast Regional. Yes, there are some perks that help it stand out above coach, like seat reservations, increased legroom, complimentary beverages, and a 25% reward point bonus, but it really isn't worth the steep price hike from coach class. For our journey today, I paid a total of $38. Of that $38, $22 was attributed to the standard rail fare between Providence and New London, while the other $16 is the business class upgrade. This means I paid almost 73% more for a slightly larger seat, a free can of Coke, and some extra points on my reward account, which is in no way worth it. If you're actually traveling on business and a company is paying for it, then go ahead, but for the average commuter or passenger looking for some extra space, then I suggest you save your money. Our train soon reaches the Thames River, marking our arrival into New London. As we pull in, we're instructed to head to the cafe car, as it will be the only place to disembark from on account of the shorter platforms. Our train comes to a stop and we can step off into New London. Train 175 wraps up its station stop and carries on down south towards its final destination of Washington, D.C. New London is among the smaller stations on the Northeast Corridor, but it does serve as the northeastern terminus for CT Rail's Shoreline East. We'll actually be riding south on the Shoreline East in a future video, featuring some incredible views out the rear of our train, but that's another adventure for another day. Next week we'll be back in the UK for a first-class ride with Avanti West Coast from London to Coventry on one of their beautiful Class 390 Pendolinos. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. There's a lot more incredible content on the way, so stick around if you want to see more. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon. If you want your name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos, then click the link in the top right or in the description below to learn more. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.